and Timberwolves. This was a fun game. This was a good one. Obviously, the main storyline from this game was the Bronny James, LeBron experience, which had the potential to be really fucking funny. Because when Bronny checked into the game, let me go to the game log. What was the Lakers were on a pretty substantial run. It was towards the end of the first half. Lakers had a decently sized lead. And then Bronny James checks into the game. Crowd goes crazy. LeBron and Bronny get their moment together. And then, wouldn't you know it, immediately the Timberwolves go on a run. Now, though, I will say this: that it's really not fair. Bronny James enters with 4 minutes left in the second quarter. The Lakers are up by 16 points. When Bronny James exits the game, 3 minutes later, they were only up 11. Okay, so it wasn't as bad as I remembered. It wasn't as bad as I remembered. But I honest to God didn't think Bronny looked terrible out there. Now, it could have been the funniest thing in the world if Bronny went out there that the Timberwolves immediately go on this 20-0 run. But I thought Bronny, a hilarious first possession, Bronny against Julius Randle. Julius Randle throws, hits him a couple times with a little elbow, gets to his spot, mid-range jumper. Welcome to the fucking league, buddy. But you know what? He played some pretty damn good defense, I thought, on Anthony Edwards. I thought, it's going to be one of these things. We see this sometimes with, we saw it last year with Wemby. I've seen it in the preseason with Edey. These, big rookies, 7+ foot rookies. Guys in the NBA look at them and they go, all right, you think this shit's going to be sweet. I'm going to attack you and go at you. There's going to be similar stuff with Bronny. I think, by proxy, Bronny's just going to play some good defense only because guys look at him and they're like, I got to get a fucking shot off on Bronny. I gotta get a shot off on Bronny and then end up taking bad shots. Does that make sense? This was the Julius Randle bucket right here. Boom. Shoulder to your chest. Welcome to the league. That's just the Julius Randle shot right there. And then, hey, this one right here, it switches on to Anthony Edwards. Ant going baseline, posting him up, forces him into a pretty tough midi. I mean, that's really not bad. Give the kid some props, right? But obviously, that's not I feel bad that I even led with that. That's not the main story of the game. It was a cool moment, though. They tried. The offense was very wonky. Bronny just wants to go to the corner and fuck off. But you could tell LeBron wanted to get him involved. The crowd wanted. Anytime he touched the ball, the crowd went crazy. Who's going to dunk on Bronny first? LeBron. Yeah, I think there's going to be a putback situation and or maybe a lob where he's dunking over him. All right, so this game right here. Lakers win 110-103. Really impressive opening night win. Their first opening night win since 2016? Damn. But an impressive opening night win for the Lakers. Let's start with them. Anthony Davis looked phenomenal in this game. I mean, he looked absolutely incredible. This Anthony Davis had a couple pick and pop threes, had some mid-range, face-up jumpers. He was 11 of 23, so it's not the most efficient thing. But beyond that, I thought he looked incredible. I don't think you could look at his shooting percentage and take too many conclusions from that. Gobert did play some pretty good defense on him in the first half, but Anthony Davis was dominant. He was assertive. He felt that he needed to take this game over at times, and he did exactly that. If this is the Anthony Davis you can expect over the course of the season, which, let's be real, you probably can't, but that's big. What was the one website you go to and find specific plays? Bucket fans, bucket list fans, something like that. There's a new one that's out that I think was a little bit better. I forgot the name of it though. But AD looked good and assertive. Rui Hachimura looked good and assertive. Jackson Hayes off the bench played with a lot of energy, and I thought he looked really good. When guys like that are playing really well for this Lakers team, when AD's doing AD shit, when Rui's like, hey guys, I showed up, I'm playing basketball today, and it's going to look good. When Jackson Hayes is contributing positively in any form, you forget this is a big Lakers team that has a good amount of athleticism and a good amount of size. And when they put it on you, when they put that size and athleticism on you, it's a little bit surprising. And this was something, they had 15 offensive rebounds last night. That was something J.J. Redick was talking about during the offseason. They're going to crash the boards. They want to get back on offense. They don't want to just stand around. Get back on defense, I guess I should say. Crash the boards or get back. Don't just stand around lingering. AD was bad in the first half and then turned it on. Yeah, that is true. Usually you know pretty much immediately what you're getting out of Anthony Davis, so that was good to see from him. But I thought the Lakers had some pretty nice... offensive looks as well. Thought they got some good looks from three. They didn't shoot the three ball well at all. 5 of 30. They go 5 of 30 from three and win the basketball game. But I thought a lot of those looks were really clean and good. So if you're a Lakers fan, you got to feel really good about what you saw last night, especially considering those 3-point numbers will tick up. You got some good looks at three. J.J. Redick after the game was saying that he's got a little bit of fucking sicko to him, you know. He's got a little bit of sicko to him that I really do think bodes well. A little bit of some psychotic tendencies that I think are going to work well with this team. How about this? We're looking at some tweets here from our guy Raj about some of the actions that the Lakers ran last night. How they got some clean looks off of it. I really like this look right here. This connect three. Or no, they went to this quite a bit. This horns rip action where a shooter comes up to set a back screen on LeBron or on LeBron's guy, and that just gets the defense going absolutely crazy because LeBron's then running towards the basket, ready to catch a lob or, dunk the ball with tremendous force. And then the shooter flows into like a dribble handoff or something, and there's just so much attention. So many guys flying around the court. Jackson Hayes slips to the basket, gets an easy dunk. They ran this earlier. But it was another wrinkle to it. Was Jackson Hayes then set an off-ball screen on Dalton Connect's guy after Connect set a back screen on LeBron's guy. And it just led to a wide-open three. Dalton Connect looked good last night. I'm already tired of Joe Mazzulla's corny-ass quotes. What did he say last night? That the floor tasted like blood? This is when sports and stuff are good. He might have killed somebody. Like, if it weren't for sports, if it weren't for healthier outlets, he might have killed somebody. Redick and Mazzulla psycho off. JJ's to me is more of like I'm a basketball sycophant. I'm a basketball sicko. I will watch Turkey G League games to figure out a new wrinkle I can add to my offensive scheme. Joe Mazzulla is like, I will kill you and bathe in your blood. And it's like, oh, okay. It's just basketball, man. It's just basketball. I will slit your throat on the court and then roll around in your blood. Okay. Good to know. Joe's psycho mode is more universal. Yes, it applies to all facets of life. Just a serious individual. Mazzulla might be the Zodiac Killer. We might need to look into that. For the Lakers, I said this during my playback stream last night, playback.tv/ShottyBites if you guys want to watch the games alongside with me. But it's an impressive win. Their offense looked good. AD looked incredible. Their role guys, Austin Reeves, 12 points on 6 of 14. You might look at that and just think he had a bad game. Austin Reeves was phenomenal last night. He looked so good. He played good defense. He was just exactly what they needed him to be. Thought he looked phenomenal last night. You're really excited by Rui Hachimura. I don't know. It's nice to get a win, an opening night win especially considering your start to the season is very tough schedule-wise. You get the Minnesota Timberwolves on opening night. You have the Suns, the Kings, the Suns again, the Cavs. Like, you got a tough start to the schedule. And the way that this team has always been, the way LeBron teams have always been, if it's a slow start to the season, it's a fucking media circus, right? But it's Anthony Davis. This has been the Anthony Davis thing. He's somebody who probably might have an MVP in his career if he's somebody who brings it consistently, is consistently on the court, and is just a consistent, reliable offensive option. Can be the offensive engine of your team. That's just not somebody that he's reliably been throughout his career. Rui Hachimura is somebody who is inconsistent in playing and being on the floor, and when he is on the court, can also be inconsistent. Jackson Hayes is somebody who has not really been a good basketball player at really any point. So it was a great win last night, but there's still a lot of things that I want to see over the course of 20 games, 30 games, 40 games before I walk back my walk back. What do I mean by that? Early on in the offseason, I was like, guys, I think this Lakers team is pretty fucking good. Like, I think on Locked On, I said they had a better chance of making the conference finals than the Nuggets. I walked that back. But, I'm monitoring the situation. We might walk back the walk back. The good thing about saying a take early is that you can then walk it back. Now, whenever you walk it back, you can still claim your early take later on. So you're never wrong. Think about that. Yes, the Mavs watch parties will be on playback as well. Lakers put up 33s. I think they would have gotten that number higher if they were consistently hitting from three. And on the Timberwolves side, let's talk about them. What do we take away from Minnesota? Similar to the Knicks. Brand new team. They made huge, ginormous roster decisions 5 minutes before the season started, basically. And also, quite literally, 5 minutes before the season started, they extended Rudy Gobert. So congratulations to Rudy Gobert. But this was a sloppy-ass game from the Timberwolves. Offensively, am I concerned? You want me to be honest with you? I don't want to jump to too many conclusions early on. But yeah, I am a tiny bit concerned about a few things for the Timberwolves. Because what we're talking about for the Timberwolves are they championship-level contenders? I saw some things last night that concerned me a tiny bit. In what is going to be an incredibly competitive Western Conference where the margins are going to be so slim and razor thin. I saw some things last night that concerned me. Their offense, 15 turnovers, 10 turnovers in the first half. I think that a lot of that has to do with playing next to guys that you've never played with before. Some lazy turnovers. What does concern me, though, is how bad Mike Conley looked, because him just being this stabilizing presence, this floor general, this captain on the court, is really, really important for them. And him looking like shit, which he did last night, is scary because he's 37 years old. And I'm still not sure that Anthony Edwards is fully ready to be like, hey, it's all right. We don't necessarily need a point guard on the court. He had 3 assists and 4 turnovers last night. I don't think that's really fair to him. I didn't think he played bad. He was 10 of 25 from the field. But I really didn't think he played bad. I think he had to force the issue late. Early on, it was a lot of Julius Randle in the first 5 to 6 minutes of this game. He had the ball in his hands every single time down the floor. He was initiating the offense. I thought that pretty much was just, hey, let's get Julius Randle going. Let's get him in a rhythm. And wouldn't you know it was awful. Didn't think Julius Randle played well at all last night. But again, first game, pretty much just got there. But it's not like this is a new, occurrence from Julius Randle. Yeah, Ant made some pretty decent reads. But Mike Conley is a stabilizing force for them offensively. And if he's just completely and totally washed, it's a little concerning for me for their offense. It really is. They got up 41 threes last night. Anthony Edwards himself put up 13 threes, went 5 of 13. And 13 threes. You could tell that was a point of emphasis. That he shot a bunch of threes in the preseason. A point of emphasis. I'm going to shoot threes. If you give me any space, I'm going to shoot threes. If he's knocking down threes, like pull up threes like that, that's pretty lethal because then you got to play much higher on him, and he's so quick first step that you're pretty much fucked. You're pretty much doomed at that point. I loved his energy as well, and had some great energy last night. One of the few guys. I don't know. Opening night, it was just sluggish, sort of go through the motions night for the Timberwolves, which I don't love necessarily. That being an opening night thing, like you should be locked in and ready to go on opening night. New team or not. The Knicks got their ass kicked. I don't think it was like the Knicks didn't come ready to play thing. They just got their asses kicked. DiVincenzo went 3 of 11, 2 of 8 from 3. Thought all of his looks were good. Thought he played good basketball, though. Naz Reid just kind of floated around, barely noticed him. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had a really nice game off the bench for the Timberwolves. Jaden McDaniels was bad. Last night, Rudy Gobert did Rudy Gobert things. One thing that really stuck out that concerned me with this Timberwolves team. They lose Cat. Let's not forget they also lose Kyle Anderson, who's a big player. They felt small. Like the big thing about this Timberwolves team and why they were such an interesting contender last year is that they were massive. They were this massive basketball team that gave a lot of people size problems. A lot of people couldn't handle the size. They felt small last night. Again, the Lakers are a big team. But those lineups with 3 guards out on the court with Ant, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dante DiVincenzo, those lineups look a lot different if there's not Cat and Gobert next to them. If it's Naz Reid, who's a small basketball player. They had a bunch of lineups last night where Gobert was like the only guy over 6'7" on the court. That's something to just keep an eye on. No, Kyle Anderson was important for them in the regular season. He was pretty much unplayable come playoff time. I don't know. Again, just like the Knicks, 20, 30 games, 40 games. This is a Timberwolves team that I think will be playing their best basketball in February. So, you're massive too? Wow.